Finally, I have decided to create a social media platform. I've never really done this before. I've never really talked about my own experiences in life. Never really tried to do social media properly. But this is my first attempt. This is my first video. Welcome to Lead Legacy, where we will be going into all things to do with sales, to do with psychology, to do with bettering yourself, learning from mistakes, and growing together and creating value. Purpose of the channel is really I want to be able to create content that one day my little boy, who's 2 years old now, can access and see that even at 29 years old, with no social media experience, with no entrepreneurial experience, with no business experience, that I could do it and I could make that change and I could break the cycle. Not that I have a bad cycle. I mean, alhamdulillah, I have everything that I ever need, right? I have a little boy, I have a loving wife, I have beautiful parents, and a kind family around me and good people around me. I couldn't ask for anything more. So yeah, Lead Legacy. Lead Legacy to me is something that is going to be astronomical. It's going to be something that I think I've had a calling for most of my life, if not all of my life, or as long as I can remember, where I've always wanted to deep dive people's minds. I've always wanted to dive into what do people do, dive into what kind of things inspire them, and dive into people who've made changes. At 29 years old, I have struggled with my weight for the majority of my life. I'm at the heaviest I've probably ever been. I've never really checked properly up till now. And it's been a really tough old year. It's been a really tough year, traveling a lot for work, taking risks, trying to do things differently. But through it all, my biggest motivation has been my son, Aideen. And if I can do it, you can do anything you want to do. And I'm not into all the soppy bullshit. That's the truth, you know. Alhamdulillah, I have such good things in my life. I have so many blessings in my life. But I also have a lot to give. And I think that this is what this channel needs to be. And I want it to be. That's the vision I have. So I want to set some goals. I want to say that in 5 years' time, I want to have reached at least 1 million followers across all platforms. I want to also put out there that I want to be in a position where in a year's time, I don't need to work for anybody, and that Lead Legacy can become an entity of its own, a business of its own. I want to put out there that actually I'm going to get into the best shape of my life in the next year. It's funny because one of the reasons why I did this was like I had a bit of a midlife crisis and I was like, oh, I'm 30 in like 2 months, right? And I know there's a lot of people out there that are obviously older and there's more significant years, but it's the end of my 20s and I really wanted to reflect on it and I really wanted to understand who I was, who I am, who I'm trying to be, all the lessons I've learned. And that's why one of the thoughts behind the bio of winning for the last decade wasn't just to do with winning in sales, winning in business, or winning in any of those things. Actually, to be honest with you, the last 10 years of my life have been, from a business perspective or from chasing my dream perspective, zilch. But maybe, and I'm a firm believer in God, I'm a firm believer in Allah, and I believe that everything happens for a reason. I believe that every opportunity that was missed, I don't believe any opportunity is missed. I believe that everything happens for a reason, right? But for now, I believe my purpose is to bring positivity to people, to help them understand that someone like me, at the age of 29, with no social media experience, no backing, with no prior experience in terms of starting a business or being an entrepreneur or leading people, I mean, I've led people in terms of management, but that's a different story. I mean, in terms of actually having something of your own, I've never done it. And I'm now on my, in some ways, pursuit of happiness. Inshallah. This is a message to anybody out there that if you want to follow along with my journey, I don't think many people will see this video, but if you do, you got this. They say the best time to plant a tree was yesterday. The second best time to plant the tree is today. And I mean, when you deep that as a quote, it's incredible. I'm at today, and I'm planting this seed today. If you're out there and you believe that you can't do something, or there's constraints, or you might feel embarrassed the way I do right now, just talking to a camera, right, on my own, with no, £1 million business idea, no venture, and no this and no that, and no supposed success. I have more success than most people in the world, right? I have a lovely, beautiful family. I have an amazing son who loves me to death and thinks that I'm the best thing in the world. And I think he's the best thing in the world. And I believe that I can make it. I sincerely believe that I can help people. And in my heart, I've always had a calling to help people. So why Lead Legacy? Lead Legacy came to me as an idea when I thought to myself, I am very good, or I've built skills over the last few years or last 10 years of my life in how to transform teams, how to transform sales culture, how to transform cultures in businesses. Obviously no business of my own, but through management jobs or different jobs that I've done. And I believe I really understand it. I believe I bring a different perspective, and I believe I know what I'm talking about when I talk about the sales psychology. I believe that sales is an immensely powerful skill for any person in any walk of life. If you're a young person, who's never worked a day in their life, to somebody who's in their retirement earning, whatever they're earning on retirement benefits, or whether they've made it and they're millionaires or they're not. I believe the skill of sales, or the art of sales, is so incredibly important. And I also believe that it leads into leadership. Essentially, when you lead people, you have to sell them on the idea. You have to sell them on the fact that you know what you're talking about. You have to sell them on belief. You have to sell them on what you want to do, and what you want to achieve, and sell them on the belief that actually, if I lead you into the fire, best believe this fire is going to burn away any nonsense, and this fire is going to greatly impact your life in the most positive way. So that's what I believe. Look, I have over a decade in experience with sales, with management of teams, and I hate the word management. In fact, I like to use the word leadership. I hate the word management, because a manager is a manager. It's just such a horrible negative word. I believe in leaders, and leadership. I've been really successful in a lot of my jobs, and I think it's high time that I invest in myself, and I've done that. This is me at 29 years old, in the worst shape of my life, at the happiest I could ever be, because I finally know my purpose, and I finally know what I need to do for the world, or for the people, or the world that's around me, and the people around me. So look, reach out if you have any questions, if you want me to make a video about something, or have any suggestions for me, or just leave feedback on the videos and let me know how I'm doing. And if you can, like, comment, and subscribe on whatever you can. Peace.